Honorable President of the Republic of Armenia, Honorable Prime Minister of Slovak Republic, Honorable participants of Yerevan Dialogue Conference, I welcome all of you, and now I would like to share with you some insights on the current state of the Armenia-Azerbaijan peace process. And as you know, we've been able to agree on a draft of the agreement on the peace and interstate relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and we finalized the document and completed the negotiations on that draft. And Armenia announced, and personally me announced, that I'm ready to sign the document. And you know that Azerbaijan officially is linking the signing of the agreement with two issues. The first one of them is the dissolution of the OSCE Minsk Group structures. And you know that OSCE Minsk Group was created for as a platform for negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan on the conflict. And in general, I should say that the agenda of dissolution of OSCE Minsk Group is acceptable for us, and we are ready to go forward. But from the other side, we want to make sure that we, with Azerbaijan, understand the situation similarly. I mean, we want to make sure that the intention of Azerbaijan isn't to close, let's say, the conflicting situation on its territory and to export that into the territory of the Republic of Armenia. Why we are saying this? Because you know that unfortunately in the recent years, Azerbaijan started to call approximately 60% of the sovereign territory of the Republic of Armenia so-called Western Azerbaijan. And you know our position on that, we said many times that there can't be Western Azerbaijan in the sovereign territory of the Republic of Armenia. So in general, what is our proposal to go ahead? We propose to sign peace agreement and simultaneously a joint application to the OSCE on the dissolution of the Minsk Group structures. And I think that is a constructive approach and constructive proposal to have two documents on the table and sign those documents simultaneously in the same time, in the same place. Another issue that Azerbaijan raises is its claim that the Republic of Armenia Constitution contains territorial claims on Azerbaijan. In general, this is also clear that parties must not have any territorial claims against each other, and that is very important precondition for peace. But let's look at issue carefully and to understand whether there is territorial claims in the Constitution of Republic of Armenia against Azerbaijan. The only institution that can officially declare what the Republic of Armenia Constitution contains and what it does not contain is the Constitutional Court of the Republic of Armenia. So you know that last year we've been able with Azerbaijan to sign regulations on the joint activities of the two commissions on the delimitation of the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And by the way, it was the first ever international bilateral document signed by Armenia and Azerbaijan. And according to the legislation of the Republic of Armenia, we sent that document to our Constitutional Court to define whether this document is compliant with our Constitution. And last September, the Constitutional Court of Armenia examined the regulation on the joint activities, that document, and decided that regulations were, by the way, Alma-Ata Declaration referred as a basic principle for the delimitation process between Armenia and Azerbaijan in the process of delimitation of the border. So both regulations, and that means Alma-Ata Declaration as well, are fully compliant with the Constitution of the Republic of Armenia. I would like to clarify what is the Alma-Ata Declaration. It is a document that has been signed in 1991 by 11 former Soviet socialist republics, members of USSR, and Alma-Ata Declaration has two main meanings. First, Soviet Union stops to exist, and the second, the parties, signatories of that declaration become independent states, recognizing each other's territorial integrity, inviolability of borders, sovereignty, etc., etc. So, according to our Constitutional Court, Alma-Ata Declaration is in full compliance with the Constitution of Republic of Armenia, which means that there is no territorial claim in the Constitution of Armenia on any neighbor, because the Alma-Ata Declaration means that the territory of independent Armenia and that of independent Azerbaijan are identical to the territories of Soviet Armenia and Soviet Azerbaijan, respectively. So, but it isn't the whole story, because, as I said already, we've been able to agree on the draft of peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and on the agreed text, we have already provision that parties confirm that the administrative borders between the Soviet republics of the former USSR become the international borders of the respective independent states, and the parties recognize the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and inviolability of international borders and each other's political independence. So it is already agreed, part of agreed draft of peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan. By the way, in the same document, there is a reference to the Alma-Ata Declaration, which is a basic principle in the peace agreement as well. So in agreed text, we have provision, as you can see, that Armenia and Azerbaijan recognize each other's territorial integrity, as it was in the times of Soviet Union as the members of Soviet Socialist Republic. There is another provision in agreed draft of peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan, that the parties state that they do not have any territorial claims to each other and shall not raise any such claims in the future. So Armenia and Azerbaijan already agreed on the draft that there can't be any territorial claims by one of the parties against the other parties. And there is another very important provision of on the agreement which is stipulating that the parties may not refer to their internal legislation as a justification for their failure to carry out the peace agreement. So those nuances are very important. Why? Because according to Armenia's legislation, after signing peace agreement, we must send it to our constitutional court to check the compliance of agreement with the Constitution of Republic of Armenia. I mean, it isn't an option. It is compulsory that that document must be sent to the Constitutional Court. So from that point, we have two options. The one option is that if Constitutional Court decide that the text of agreement isn't compliant with our Constitution. If we will have such decision, even though I should say that after the last September decision, our experts say that there is no high probability that Constitutional Court could decide something like that after last year's decision on the regulations or regulation of border commissions. But court is court. In case when Constitutional Court would decide that peace agreement isn't compliant with our constitution, we will have very concrete situation to decide. In that case, to be honest, what would be the position of the government of Armenia? And personally, my position, I would initiate constitutional changes, because this peace process and peace agreement must not be missed. And we will try and we will persuade our society to make that amendment for reaching sustainable and long-lasting peace. But in case when Constitutional Court would decide that the agreement is in full compliance with the Constitution of Republic of Armenia, in that case we will have no obstacle to send that document to our parliament for ratification. And when ratified, that document will acquire a highest legal force in Armenia, according to the paragraph 3 of Article 5 of the Constitution of the Republic of Armenia, which states, in case of conflict between the norms of international treaties ratified by the Republic of Armenia and those of Armenian laws, the norms of international treaties shall apply. So that means that in case that after the moment of ratification and after the ending into force, when President will sign the law about ratification, peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan will have supreme legal force in the Republic of Armenia. So that is very important nuance, because it means that the peace agreement will solve all the concerns that Azerbaijan may have and now has. So it is obvious that the way to address the issues raised by Azerbaijan is to sign the agreement rather than not to sign it. I would like to clarify one more time. There is no any chance not to delivering the concerns of Azerbaijan in case when the peace agreement will sign. It is 100% that all concerns will be addressed. So for addressing those concerns, the peace agreement should be signed And that is our main point, especially taking into account that we see that in the constitution of Azerbaijan, there are some territorial claims against Armenia. But we didn't raise separately that issue because we saw that in the agreed draft, it will be addressed. So that is our point, that in general, frankly speaking, there are two versions on the issues raised by Azerbaijan. Some experts say that it is just pretext for Azerbaijan to postpone the signing of the peace agreement, but position of the government of Armenia is the following. We are trying to taking into account that the concerns of Azerbaijan are sincere, and we are looking to see whether the roadmap we are proposing addressing the concerns of Azerbaijan, and I think I've been able to make it obvious that it is doing that. The signing of peace agreement, addressing, delivering all the possible issues, both of Armenia and Azerbaijan. So my position and my call and in this situation is that we need to concentrate on signing of peace agreement, and I reconfirm that personally me and our government, our political team is ready to go ahead and to take its share of responsibility for having lasting and sustainable peace in our region. But I would like to say that so far we've been able to achieve something with Azerbaijan, and last year we've been able to delimit it and demarcate it around 12.7 kilometers of the shared borders, and I would like to show you what it is looks like. Now it is the border, delimited and demarcated border of the Republic of Armenia, and we have some pieces of our border with full 100% peace, and let's say with the security guarantees. Another very important project for the regional peace and prosperity is the our project with the very important name of Crossroads of Peace. In the framework of this project, Armenia proposed a concrete solutions for the opening of regional connectivity for bilateral, international, and transit movement, and the Crossroads of Peace project is based on the several very important principles, that is territorial integrity, sovereignty, jurisdiction of the countries through which the roads are passing, and reciprocity, also another very important principle for this project. And you can see that it is actually a very important project for overcoming the global supply chain crisis, because when our roads with Azerbaijan and with Turkey will be open, it will open another opportunities for connectivity between East and West, North and South. And now those roads that you are seeing are our proposal, and we propose very concretely to make decisions and go ahead. But unfortunately, we see some hesitations of Azerbaijan, and of course, we very actively we are discussing potential solutions, and Armenia is concentrated how it is possible to make progress, to propose concrete solutions, and we proposed concrete ways to overcoming of hesitations of the Republic of Azerbaijan, and Armenia is ready. We are ready to organize cargo transportation from western parts of Azerbaijan to Nakhichevan through Armenia. You know that is Nakhichevan, the part of Azerbaijan, and that is main part of Azerbaijan, and there is an issue and agenda of having connection between Nakhichevan and Azerbaijan, and Armenia, we are ready to provide solutions. And by the way, I mentioned Azerbaijani narrative of Western Azerbaijan, and I said already that there is no and there can't be Western Azerbaijan in the sovereign territory of the Republic of Armenia, but now it is very important that there is Western Azerbaijan, and those are the western regions of Azerbaijan, and that is very important, that there can't be Western Azerbaijan beyond the western regions of Azerbaijan, and it is out of any discussions for us, obviously, and I think it is legitimate position. But let's say what is the proposal of Armenia for connection between the Nakhichevan and main part of Azerbaijan. Our proposal is the following. As I said, Azerbaijan has some hesitations connected with its citizens coming through Armenia, etc. And we said that we have no any hesitations, and we're ready to provide some services. And our idea is that Armenian locomotives could pass controls of Armenia and Azerbaijan, and to take trains from Azerbaijan, passing back the passport control, custom control, and to carry it to the Nakhichevan, I mean cargo train, and to live there. So, and in opposite way. So it is very important that now Armenia has concrete proposal to provide this, because sometimes some international partners are creating that impression that Armenia isn't willing to open connectivity for Azerbaijan and Nakhichevan, for connection from Azerbaijan to Nakhichevan and to the other way. But for us, it is very important to see that in the context of the regional connectivity. You spotted that mentioned reciprocity, and for us, it's very important to have similar connection with the. We are saying like that, from Azerbaijan to Azerbaijan through territory of Armenia, and from Armenia to Armenia through territory of Azerbaijan, and with the respect of sovereignty, territorial integrity, jurisdiction of the countries. And this proposal is official. This proposal is on the table, and anytime Azerbaijan is agreed, we are ready to enter into the stage of implementation of this process. Ladies and gentlemen, as you So I hope I've been able to share those insights with you, that we have concrete proposals to have progress and to achieve lasting and sustainable peace in our region. And I reiterate that peace, sustainable and lasting peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan is not only possible, but it is within the reach. And we are determined, we are devoted to the peace agenda, and we are ready to continue consultations with Azerbaijan how to get to the point of signing of peace agreement and other documents as well, which will dramatically and totally change the situation and destiny of the peoples of our region. And of course, we will be adhered to that agenda and make everything that is dependent from us, of course, with the respect of the principles I mentioned already. And my belief is, ladies and gentlemen, that despite all the arguments, all the provocations, etc., there will be no war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and there will be peace, and that is very definite for me. Thank you very much.